Welcome to Makers and Breakers. I'm not a professional, I'm just a dad trying to make some cool stuff and fix things that break around our house. I started this project with cutting out the pieces of wood that I was going to use as my base for the cross, and then I got all my other pieces of wood, the 3.5-inch paneling, and I started marking out with a pencil exactly where I was going to make my cuts. I should also say, some said make a backing panel and burn it, but with the stain that I decided to use for this project, I decided to not use the burn paneling behind it. Next, I used my C-clamp and I clamped my wood to my table, and I used my jigsaw to cut out all the notches the proper lengths. So I got all my pieces all laid out, and I realized with some of the smaller cuts that this is actually going to be better if I build a little frame around it. So I have some 1.5-inch piece of wood that I'm going to make a wood railing, and I'm going to glue, and I'm going to brad nail it in to kind of give this a lot of sturdiness to it. And I'm also going to glue all the boards together, and then we'll move on after the glue is dry to our next step. Alright, so the glue is dried, and I've brad nailed it all together. So I'm ready to put on my dust mask and start sanding this. As I started sanding, I started with 80 grit sandpaper. Then I went up to 120 grit, 220 grit, and I finished off this whole entire project with 320 grit sandpaper. I realized after I got this all together that there was a little bit of flex in one of the corners, so I'm taking another 1.5-inch piece and I'm just going to tack it in there with the brad nails, and hopefully that helps keep it all together just fine. Next step was to start staining the project. And if you haven't ever stained anything before, it's a really simple process. Make sure you get a foam brush or something to wipe it on, and then wipe off the stain immediately. I decided to use a black cherry stain for this project, and I was really happy with it because it made the grain pop out a lot after I wiped it off. When it goes on really dark, but after you wipe it, you could really see the individual texture of the wood really start to show. So I'm getting ready to spray this with lacquer just to kind of finish it and seal it. But I wanted to show you guys something. I made this. So I took a regular old board that I had in the shop and I drilled some screws through it And so what this is going to do is this is going to help hold up my piece as I spray it, so I won't have any start and stop areas, and hopefully it'll get underneath all those cracks underneath as well. I picked this idea up from another YouTuber, Steve Ramsey. He runs a channel for woodworking for mere mortals. It's a great channel. I've learned a lot from him. So please, if you haven't already checked out his channel, check it out in the link below. Okay, so I have this all set up and I'm ready to spray. So you could start to see like a glossy finish that's coming from the lacquer. I've just finished my third coat and it's coming along. There's still some dry spots which I'll hit with the fourth coat, but it's coming out pretty nice so far. I think this is gonna look awesome by the time I'm all done. I'm really happy how this turned out, and I think my coworker's gonna love it. Definitely some things I learned, but I can't wait for the next project. Thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment.